Welcome to Put a Word on It, a podcast presented by Men of Valor. In each episode, we're going to talk with a different man, but each one with a unique journey from brokenness to freedom. I'm your host, Rudy Kalis. I spent over 40 years as a TV sportscaster, then retired and joined the Men of Valor program as a volunteer, so join the conversation. Reconciling men to God, their families, and society. Welcome to another edition of Put a Word on It, brought to you by the Beeman Family Foundation. We thank them so much for their support. Well, there's a photograph that we've got of a young man named Chris Bobbitt smiling with the governor. Yeah, boy, that's a cherished item for him. His story just drains me. What a change in his life. Physically, the way he looks, which you will see, but on the inside as well. I can hardly imagine that someone can survive what he has gone through, but boy, does he tell it, and he tells it right straight at all of us so that we can believe. We see that picture of you with the governor. Was that a look that you had for a long time?
I hadn't grown my hair out like that since I was a kid. When I was about to get out of prison, and my sister come visited me, and I had my hair started to grow long. I have a big long beard, and she told me that she liked it. She said it gives you a gentleness, and so I was like, well, sis likes it, I'm gonna run it for a little while, and then it just got too much to handle. Having to mess with it every time I got up from taking a nap or getting up in the morning. And
well, I don't have a choice, but you're so good. You got a good smile about you. You grew up in this Nashville area, didn't you?
In West Nashville and Nations years ago. It was back before they started building all them new buildings.
Oh, yeah. What kind of kid were you?
I've always been a loving kid. Wanted to anyhow. Grew up pretty rough.
Did you feel love as a kid? Because you're talking about you were a loving kid. Sometimes people don't feel that love, don't get it.
I knew I was loved. I knew my sister loved me. I knew my mama loved me. And that's pretty much...
No dad?
Never. My dad wasn't around.
Sometimes you got to see a man to be a man. So when you don't have an example, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you could say. I never really fit in. Never really fit in everywhere when I was younger, man. Like when I was in high school, I didn't fit in with the sports guys, and I didn't fit in with the regular crowds. I just kind of did my thing.
It's interesting. Makes me think. Did you think people didn't want to be around you, or were you just insecure about yourself, or what was the deal?
I don't know. I guess I guess from a young age, I developed I guess it made me call it survival skills, survival techniques, and I was very cautious of everyone. I had to read people from a young age, and I had to read situations from a young age. So I guess I was just really cautious of everybody around me. And if you got to know me, if you come to me and talk to me, most people that comes up to me and talks to me, likes to talk to me, likes to be around me, but I didn't initiate it.
How did it lead to trouble?
I grew up real rough, like I said. I grew up in and out of the foster system. I was group homes, boot camps, foster home, mental institutions. And my mama had her demons, and even though I know she loved me, she had a heavy drug addiction. She lost custody of me and my sister a few times throughout my childhood, and then she ended up ODing. The only thing keeping her alive was the machines. Her brain activity was gone. We gotta give her another chance. She come back. By that time, she had lost us again. And so she pretty much gave up on life at that point. She went to living under bridges and just really got lost. And then once I got to when I was about 17, there was heavy drug use there. We pretty much partied as a family. Did cocaine as a family. Smoked pot like it was smoking cigarettes. It was pretty for me at that age. I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, I mean, my whole family's getting high, you know. They introduced me to pretty much every drug I've done. I took a city bus from West Nashville to South Nashville because I was determined to graduate high school. So I ended up graduating high school. And then after that, I was determined to find my mother. So I started hunting for her. I just start walking railroad tracks, just looking under any bridge I could find, trying to find her. When I finally did, I told her, I said, Mom, you ain't got to live like this. I said, I got a house now. I was 17 years old. I said, I got a house now. Said, you can come live with me. So she come stay with me for a little while. And then she said her stomach was hurting, and she left. And I remember I was at work one day. I was a security guard for Metro Water Company. And I had just turned 18. I got a security job. And I remember I got a phone call while I was at work one day. And I answered the phone, and the man said, this is Clifford Mann, Homicide Division, Davidson County. He said, your mother was murdered tonight. And they just really broke. So I carried that like a disease for a long time. And so I was trying to raise two little girls. I was a kid myself. When I discovered pain pills, I developed a heavy addiction to opiates, which led me into prison. And then I did that time in prison, which was its own nightmare. And I did about close to 10 years. And before I finally just gave up on life. I mean, I was just so consumed with hate and anger and sadness and just every bad thing that you could have tormenting me on the inside of me. And I guess what I could liken it to is I watched a World War II documentary one time, and they already took the beaches in Normandy, and they were taking these small towns. And as they were taking these towns and these teams, they would every so often come across a soldier on the ground, and they would think he was dead, but he wasn't. He had turned out it was called battle fatigue, I believe is what it's called. It was basically where he just didn't want to fight anymore. It was done.
That's what you went through.
Just gave up on life. And so at that point, that went on for about a couple of years. And finally, I just couldn't take it anymore. And I remember I was in a prison cell, and I just got on my knees, and I was like, God, I don't know how to do this, but I know I can't do this anymore. And it's been a process since then, but that's when I gave my life to God right there in the prison cell in East Tennessee.
I see the change in the guy that I see here. It's just remarkable how much you've been through.
It's just a real stark contrast between how my heart was, how my inner torment was, and the peace. And the joy I have now. It's I feel like I'm a walking testimony that Jesus Christ is real. To have my heart in the way that it is now, full of love and joy and gratefulness, despite the chaos that my life's been. It's how can I not believe?
The program has put a word on it. Have you got a word for me?
Philippians 1:6. Being confident in this, that he who started a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ.
If you brought it down to one word, pick one word out of there.
I guess grateful.
That's a simple but beautiful word. My goodness, you've got all that stuff in your life, and God loves you and saved you, my friend. I don't know about you, but I'm drained. You listen to all of that. It was a long interview, but it was just, my goodness, how can you survive? It's only by the grace of God, and that's why he uses the word grateful. It's just to the point. Can't we be grateful of the things in our lives when they haven't been anywhere near the amount of tragedy that he's been involved in, and yet he has a faith that just shines like a light. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next time as we put a word on it.